I just keep getting a new best on the second photo, but also with suboptimal multipliers. I guess at this point I can maybe even expect to go to 150. Also, I'm like not even improving any of the other photos. Okay, well that should put me at like 946. And 540. I think it's just coincidence that it's just working out that way. Because yeah, this is 148, and there's no risk bonus. Extremely skewed photo. Jesus, this is horrible. 4 photos sucked again. It was also very mistimed. Photo 3 was alright. Photo 2 was high. And 1 is alright. Last photo is alright too. Unfortunately, even if that was a great photo, there would have still been not a PB or negligible PB. The photos just don't quite hit. Also, I just need to get good at dodging purplely before I take the photo, but I'm not. Dysfunctional brain. What? Ah. That was a dumb way to lose the run. It's actually kind of surprising how few 200s I've seen. Yeah, I've not died in that way very often. So that really should not have happened. I guess I just wasn't focusing on the bullets down right of me at just the right time. If I get enough of those runs, I'll eventually finish a run that's not with like a garbage final photo. You know, one like that. 106 with good execution. That was close. 208. With a great final to the PB, even though my third photo sucked ass. I mean, if I can like get 2 super good photos at the end, I can definitely make up for a lot. Man, I'm so dumb. Like, I knew I made the wrong decision there, like, with my dodging right before I died. Like, I just went into it like a spot where I knew those last few bullets were gonna appear. But I still did it because I wasn't thinking. Bruh. On the first photo, I was almost afraid I was going to accidentally switch to portrait on that photo as I was taking it. That happened on a finished run that I did off screen. That was a good way to kill the run, but I don't think it. Well, I think the run wasn't PBing anyway. My fingers got too fat of the hitbox. That was awkward. $105. Gotta love that 20% variance on these photos. Or at least photo 1. Whoa. Well, that's at least an improvement to another photo. Bruh. It's got full 1000 macro bonus and also some risk bonus, so unless the base value can go up a lot, this is probably gonna be difficult to improve. I mean, there's a 0.1 in the 0.1 in the angle bonus, I guess, but that's like I don't know how much score lost. Not a lot. Still a pretty substantial improvement considering this is photo 1. $1.38K. Almost 948K best. And does this have an extra familiar? It's hard to see, but I definitely did get lucky with the blue stars because there's like 3 familiars on the left, I think, that just fired new bullets. So yeah, that's definitely very lucky. I sometimes wonder if it's possible to get blue shot bonus in this on this photo or on this scene. Like maybe if you get luck like that, but then on the final photo, maybe. That's not a purpose. But almost. Yeah. Thought it was 145, and it's 46. What? The game wanted to give that one to me after taking my first defensive, basically. Unfortunately, that was actually a really good pace, too. Like this photo doesn't seem really that out of the ordinary, to be honest. I don't know. It's also kind of hard to tell like how many blue stars there are in some of these familiars. There's always like a star down left of me that always just gets me. And I also get blindsided by it because I can't see it coming. Too aggressive. Alright, I'm gonna take a small break, so I'll be back in a few minutes. BRB. Alright, I'm back. Once again, thanks for the raid series, even if it was unfortunately timed. Trying to get the record in this scene. And I have gotten close a couple times, but the big problem is actually finishing runs, because the final two photos are kind of rude. And none of the photos are really that easy to begin with. I mean, the dodging generally is, but actually taking the photo, not getting hit by anything, that's like really the hard part. The actual approach for the photo kills you a lot. Well, that was another close one, actually. I have this bad habit that if I'm too far from Marissa, I kind of like dash to the left, but it often kills me. And honestly, I don't even really mean to do that, it just kind of happens. Also, yeah, like the aftermath after the fourth photo, where I have to like dodge at an angle, that kills me a lot. That kills me a lot too. Because like the top left corner is where like the next save spot is, or well, pseudo save spot. But that also means that you're still gonna have to dodge left over in kind of an awkward way. There's probably a better way to deal with it, but well, I'm already kind of used to doing it this way, so even if it does still kill me a lot. I took that nice shot too early. Or I triggered it too early. When that happens, that's not necessarily bad, but if I don't see it coming, I might kind of panic and then I like move fast. But yeah, like when I'm sitting like in these corners here, you're generally safe, but you still have to like watch out for stars coming from the opposite corner. Like stars coming from that particular direction can still kill you if the spread is just right. So I need to always be ready to sidestep. But everything else should never kill you. Like I kind of like line up with the score at the top left for safe spot here, and then I use the spell text to position myself when I'm going to the right. I do kind of go for higher macro bonuses on these usually, which does mean that I also have to aim backwards. And then it does often happen that I just ram Marissa. But you can get a 1,000 macro bonus on these. Even when you're moving towards Marissa and then, you know, taking the photo and aiming backwards, even then. So there's probably like some amount of pixels where you don't die, but you still get 1,000. But you don't have to do it. You can also keep your distance to take the photo. It's just that I'm not really used to it, so I often end up aiming backwards too much. Or I just do it when I'm not even supposed to at all. But like, it doesn't necessarily kill the score a lot, it's mainly the stars, I think. And well, in the really dense photos, I don't think it really happens that easily because you kind of have to... You're kind of forced to take certain... like, move in certain areas to where you kind of have to go close. At least with the way how I do it. Well, and then there's also the timing, because, you know, technically the nice shot is proximity based, so there is a predictable interval, but exactly when the nice shot appears is not quite predictable. Or at least not in the sense that it appears exactly when you want it to, because it does kind of depend on where you're positioned. That was a dash forward that I didn't really want to do, but... I wouldn't say like average, but... I honestly don't really remember how hard even it would be to clear normally. It's definitely a lot easier than one of Maris's other scenes that appear in this game with like lasers instead of stars. That one is annoying as hell to clear. Yeah, I mean, if you know how to deal with this, then a lot of these stars dodge themselves because of how they are fired. That's why I can mostly sit still here whenever I'm in position in the top corners. I mean, as far as this game goes, though, like, this is not, like, super hard because, like, I would say levels 9 to 12 are, like, the hard ones, and EX kind of drops off in difficulty. And then SP even more. Which doesn't really make a lot of sense, but maybe soon didn't even plan on having these levels in originally. Or maybe they were supposed to, like, appear earlier. Like 9, 10, and 12, I think, are really the hard ones. Like 11 is kind of... It kind of drops off too, but... Like, otherwise, difficulty, I think, is pretty stable. Like, there are some, like, outliers, of course, like 6-4. Well, 6-4 and 4 run. Like, that is probably one of the hardest scene, or like the hardest patterns in the series. If you, like, score it. And you can basically make it as difficult as you want it to be. And more difficult also means more score, but at a certain point it becomes task only. And that is without exaggeration. I would say that Kuiper Bullet is probably more stable in terms of difficulty, and maybe even, like, harder. It's a bit hard to say, though. I mean, Kuiper Bullet doesn't have, like, landscape shots. So that does mean that reaching the boss is harder, but... I don't know. Dang it. Yeah, I don't really remember, like, what the clear or, like, the unlock requirements are for these. Like, I don't really remember. I mean, I'm sure you do because you speedrun this, but... Yeah, like... In Shoot the Bullet, you can at least, like, take photos from an angle because, you know, the long ends of the photo are diagonal always because it's, you know, a straight aligned photo frame. So, but I think most people don't really take advantage of that, which does make things harder sometimes. Or, you know, the fact that you can take defensive shots and get your charge back quickly, and sometimes that can cheese certain scenes. Then that's really just a matter of not really understanding or, you know, not having the knowledge of how the mechanics work. That doesn't really have anything to do with dodging skill. Of course, it is more impressive if you clear without, you know, those cheese tactics, but if you know about them, you would probably use them. Like, I don't think there's like anyone who has this like arbitrary condition of dang it, of you know, clearing a scene without defensives. Also, I don't know, maybe there's some scene where that would be kind of unreasonable. I thought I was dead there. This happens a lot. Like a star that kills me that comes from like the bottom left, and I don't see it because, yeah, it's easy to get blindsided by them. And yeah, like the photo games, people struggle with them a lot. It's kind of hard to really compare it to the other games that are, you know, just 6 stages that you do in a row, or an extra stage, but yeah, I don't know, like I wouldn't like rank them necessarily, but like this is one of those games where like the patterns can be really hard, but they are also, you know, individual patterns, so you can just, you know, for one thing, you can just, you know, retry pretty easily and there's not really much of a consequence. And you can also chip away at them like one scene at a time. So you don't have to like commit to an entire, you know, run of the game. You can just do, you know, one pattern, theoretically. Or well, not theoretically, but, you know, you could technically finish one pattern and just stop, turn the game off, come back to it later. So like, it is hard, but it is easier to pick up because of the time commitments. That's also one of the factors that makes games like this more addicting to score, in my opinion, because you have that feeling of, man, I'm so close. I can almost I'm so close to getting a PB, or, you know, just clearing the scene, and you could get it any minute. So you just keep going. And that is, like, this game for me at least, is definitely one of the games that I play the longest in like one sitting. If I play something like PODD, I can't really play that for more than 2 hours. Because of the high amount of focus it takes, and a run taking like between 30 and 50 minutes. So a lot of time commitment here, but in this game, any given run could be anywhere between like 20 seconds and 5 minutes. And well, in this case, with this scene, it can't be any longer than 3 minutes and 20 seconds. And in this scene, at least, when I'm scoring, I don't actually take defenses hardly ever. Even though it would do me good if I did, because sometimes I can identify that the dodging is going to be too hard when I'm trying to take this photo. So I could take a defensive, but I'm just not used to doing it at all. And I mean, really, the dodging should never be too hard to where I can't take the photo at all, but... I don't know. That dodging was unnecessary as hell. Like, just go through a tight gap for no reason. And it was surprisingly only 196. At least it still scored alright. Whatever. After photo 3, I do tend to just finish, even if I miss the timing. Okay, another 200. Alright, well at least I finished the run. That's good. And that last photo wasn't that bad either. But yeah, this one was mistimed, so ruined. Let me see, that would have been like plus 49, so that would have been like 881. I've gotten a lot of runs that were like 870, 880 range. I'm at least confident that if I keep going, sooner or later I'll beat the record. I mean, it could literally happen like this next minute, but unlikely. At least I'm playing a little better after, you know, taking my little break. As the very next run I get, like, could have almost been a PB, but then I fucked it up on the last photo. In terms of like the score that you get, that doesn't really matter for clearing these scenes. Like what really matters is if you can, don't shrink your photo a lot, because then your the charge you gain back is less generally, and you do want to get as many bullets as you can in your photo. Because again, camera charge that you get back increases if you get more bullets. And then also if you take defensives, you get way more charge back. So that does make them more useful than people might think. It's like, oh well, I didn't take a photo of the boss, so that doesn't help me. Well, not really. That's not really true. The fact that you get your charge back way faster with defensives actually helps a lot. because you can clear the screen and then maybe you have like a free opportunity to actually take a boss shot. Okay, well, that's not very smart. That third photo can still go up a lot. I think that's also like currently my oldest best. Yeah, that was like the second day that I started scoring this. Yeah, I mean that's fine. Like, whenever I stream, I don't talk a lot to begin with, and depending on the game, I even have my mic muted. So, and like in general, I just stream because I want to have my attempts recorded, and you know people can watch, but most people lurk anyways. So things tend to be pretty quiet. And then also the fact that photo games are, you know, the type of games that people don't play a lot and aren't very familiar with. They can't really relate to a lot of the things that happen. But that's just how it is. Maybe one day these games are going to be more popular among high-level players too, like PODD. Like there's quite a few people now that play it on a higher level, whereas when I was playing that game for most of my time, there was almost nobody who played this game, and there's even been a period of time where I was the only one playing the game. It wasn't until like, I don't know, 2021 or so, 2022, until a lot more people started playing the game. I like to believe that I've at least inspired one person to pick it up with like my 10 years of playing the game. Whoa, that's like insanely high. What the hell? Or am I crazy? No, that is crazy high. Well, I did say, like, oh, I could probably reach 150. Well, there you go. I think that's like the third time today that I got a best on the second photo, and then the last time I played, which was off stream, I PB'd on the second photo twice as well. Like, they were very small PBs, but Like, these three really need to go up, though. Like, these three, I mean, they're also the oldest, but they also... I mean, the fact that they are the oldest really should imply that they can improve a lot still. Also, I don't even think that 149 really had the ideal conditions either to be a you know, a god tier photo, so it could probably still go up. Let me see. That's a whole 2,000. Which also means I got 950 best now. Summer best. What? 091. I also got a new best first photo earlier this stream. I mean, also the problem with the last 3 photos is that I just don't get to them a whole lot. Also, yeah, this is definitely not ideal conditions because macro bonus isn't optimal and there's no risk bonus. But you can see, like, there's a lot of blue stars because, you know, they just so happen to all fire right when I want them to. Unfortunately, I'm not really that good with the dodging when I do the little quarter circle turn. Like right there. It's that I also have to focus on actually timing the shot, so it's like you can't just focus on one thing. And Maris's positioning is not always the same, and where his stars appear is also not ever the same. I should oftentimes delay the quarter circle movement though, so I can have a slightly more safer path. Plus I can, you know, react more easily, but it does mean that I have to take my photo more quickly. That is kind of the payoff, but it should, like, be good for the last 2 photos especially, I think. Just because of where the bullets move versus where Mars is when I take the first... trigger the first nice shot. Oh, one of those done. Yeah, it's mainly the number of stars in the photo. And you also want the familiars at the top, those little circles. And you want to have Mars in the center of the photo, and when it's centered, you get that times... Well, in this case, times 1.99, but you want it to be 2.0. I mean, 0.99 in this case is not really a big deal. And then the nice shot is basically the wireframe that shows up during, like, certain moments. You want to, like, basically during the beginning of the nice shot, you want to take the photo. And if you take it later, the multiplier decreases very quickly. And angle bonus is a little bit complicated, but for purposes of this scene, just assume it's going to be 1.29 almost every time. And there is a small chance that I can get one extra familiar in the photo. Like kind of depending on how the frame is positioned, but it's not really something I can control, so sometimes I can get like, what is it, like something like 3,000 extra points randomly, but again, I can't really control it. But besides that, the score that you get is basically luck-based. And of course, the way I take the photo is still more optimal than not doing, you know, as opposed to doing something else. But if you take the same photo every time, it's still going to be different every time. And this so far is good luck. Very good luck, in fact. But I'm still gonna have to survive these photos and not fuck up. Yeah, I took that one too early, so the run's over now. But I'm still gonna keep going, because maybe I can get a best photo on the last two. Because I need to improve them. Well, that would have been a PB. That sucks, man. Because this would have been like 162. So I would have had 902. I mean, this is not a new thing, unfortunately, because I've had runs that finished and one of them was mistimed. And yeah, like the third shot likes to be the one that I miss a lot. Like, I don't know why. But this isn't my best pace though. Like, my best pace has been way better than this. Because I had like, trying to think, 630-ish into the final photo. And well, in this case, this would have been like, what? I can't do this math right now. 550. 575. 620. High 620. Yeah. 629, I think. So it would have been actually pretty close to my best pace. This first photo is actually like probably the most random of the photos, because you can just get yellow shot bonus or you miss it. But and for these that doesn't really matter. But like this third photo would have scored high if it had actually been timed correctly. So I would have actually had a run where all photos were at least good. But sadly, that didn't happen. I mean, like, this last photo isn't even that great. Like, it could have still been better, but I mean, for what this last photo tends to be, it's pretty alright. Like, this is like average, really. It can be like between 260 and 280, but I'm sure you could get 290 or even 300 with like exceptional luck. You do lose score if you get a slightly lower nice shot multiplier generally, so you do not want to get them. So, you know, I do try to aim for 150s. But, you know, if I time slightly too late, that's not like a very bad thing, but like, I don't know, if I get like below 1.45, I would consider that kind of bad. Like at that point, I probably lose more score than I want to. Of course, if it's like a lucky photo, then it will still score pretty good, but I don't really want that. I think before I took my small break, I only had like one run that finished, so... You know, I'm at least doing a little bit better than before. I've woken up. Of course, now I should also not mistime everything. I mean, it's still kind of my fault. Like, I should be more deliberately time my shots later. It's not really that difficult, but like even if I do like my circle movements early, I can just sit still for a little bit longer before I activate my frame. But adjusting to that is actually kind of the hard part. And that movement was kind of unorthodox for me, so that could have been easily mistimed. Okay. Okay. That was mistimed. LeMayo. I wasn't used to like. I wasn't used to like not aiming that last photo, so I think that kind of threw me off. Like I'm usually a lot closer here, but because I wasn't, I was forced to like not aim the photo. And of course, I could have also used less zoom frames, but I'm not really used to doing that because if you aim backwards, you obviously have to use zoom frames. But yeah, that would have almost certainly been a PB if I had timed that properly. I'm not sure how high it would have been, but like it's kind of hard to say. And no, that quintuple A was not the bad one, because I just barely did not PB because my last photo was slightly mistimed and I killed the world record pace with that. But hey, that's like 2 runs in pretty quick succession, so You know, I can clearly have a thing going. Usually when you see a bunch of A's, it's not good. Alright, it's time to just start ramming her again. You can see how close I am here. Like, optimally, you do want to do this, but, like, it's not really necessarily worth the score gain. It's like, I don't know, maybe like 1,000 to 2,000 point extra score. Also, technically, if you're closer, that does actually mean it's a lot easier for this photo to not be perpendicularly angled, which is not good, but like if it's slightly angled, that's still okay. Also, yeah, thanks for watching, by the way. Thanks for stopping by. I will keep going for probably at least 15 more minutes, depending on what my performance is going forward. I mean, if I keep getting good runs right now, then I would kind of want to keep going, so I don't, you know, waste that potential. Sometimes those defensives can be pretty scary too if a star ends up creeping up behind you sometimes. Like that can happen, and sometimes that can make defensives kind of scary. Or even just bullets in front of you. Like it kind of depends on where you take the defensive though, but... That was awkward. So was that. Meh. That was one where the night shot came earlier than I was expecting, so I kind of was slow on my timing, but not slow enough for it to really matter. 149 is fine. That is not fine. Bruh. I guess I'll try to do 2 more runs to get to the final photo, or 1 finish run before I stop. And not kill myself a bunch and never get to that point, hopefully. Oh, I was dead there, man. A bullet sneaked in, man. Why does this game have to bully when I have like 620 plus into the final, man? I should have been more careful, but still. Like, usually that doesn't happen, but I think I also took that defensive earlier than I used to. At least I can't beat this record. It's just a matter of time. This is not gonna be like SB9 where I just play it for like 3 weeks and just struggle the whole time. because like that's the kind of scene where you have so little control over how high your score is that it's like, nope. It's kind of like, is it EX-3 or I think it's EX-6, the Wily Toad scene. Like that is also like the biggest RNG circus. And then on top of that, the dodging is also freaking hard too. Especially because of the below shit. Like I definitely did that scene for a while. I never got even close to third place. That's how bad it was. And the record is just like W3F tier. It's also by CKT, I'm pretty sure, so yeah, obviously it's gonna be WTF tier. Because his scores are oftentimes very strong. There's that first photo again. Photo also would have been pretty good. Like, not great, but good. Okay, well, I guess that makes things a little bit better. In a weird way. Yeah, I'm not gonna count that one, guys. I don't know. I mean, that still would not have PB'd even if this was all timed properly. Like, it would have been like, you know, this would have been like 164, I think, something like that. 196. 261. I mean, that's really bad though, like... yeah, so that definitely would not have been PB material. So, I suppose I don't really feel that bad for mistiming 3 photos in a row. Timed that one too early too. Gotta stop doing that. It's just that if I time late, sometimes I just die because the stars end up catching up with me. Although it doesn't even really happen that often. Yeah, those ones behind me are trying to get me. Okay, well that was kind of dumb. Going that close was never gonna work in that case. Should have just stayed far. Huge. It was not a best, right? No. But it's 1,000. Those are always cute. They often don't really happen on purpose either. I don't really recommend doing that. Like, I think it's too risky. There's just way too high of a chance for you to just ram her. There was another 1,000. I think without risk bonus or yellow shot bonus, still 120. So that is actually pretty good luck considering. Nope. Okay. Have to keep my distance on that one. All right, well, that was solid execution actually on the final photo. So that could have PB'd, but the luck just wasn't good enough. It was actually kind of low tier, unfortunately. Like, I don't remember what the base value standards are here, but I bet if I look at my best photo, it's probably gonna be way higher. There's also very high for bonus. Like, I don't think I've ever seen 1,000. Like, it's just so risky on the final photo. It's just not worth it at all. So yeah, like, the last photo was low, unfortunately. Second photo's alright, like average. Second photo was like above average. Third photo was good, high, pretty high. Fourth photo was like average. So yeah, like a lot of average or low actually. So it makes sense that this didn't really get that close, but you know, it's another 80. So yeah, I think I'm actually pretty happy with my runs today. Even though I didn't PB, I did get like I don't know, a new best photo like 4 times. And I also got a lot of runs pretty close to PB. Or, you know, beating the record, but not quite the luck I want. Let me just see this final photo. Oh yeah, I forgot. That is how I fucked up that one. 48. Okay, so if I had 3k more, that would have been like... I think that the total multipliers together is like times 5.5-ish. So, like... that would have been... like 15, like let's say 17k, and at like 268. Yeah, so that would have been a PB in that case. Like probably not quite 900, but so yeah, that would have been another PB possibly, but it would have required a very good photo though. And I'm not really sure how high this photo can even go to begin with, but you know, I imagine you can get 300 at like the best case scenario. So yeah, 638 is my best pace. That's actually higher than I remember. So yeah, if you get 638 with like a 280 plus, that's high 910 or 920. Alright, I'm gonna leave it here for today, but I think today has been pretty good. So I'm just gonna be continuing this probably on Friday, and we'll see. Maybe I'll PB it in. Or maybe it's gonna take a little longer. We'll see. Thanks for watching.